What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hail Mary. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend. College football championship weekend was this week. It was very crazy. We had a lot that went on with the college football playoff rankings. There's some teams that should be upset. A lot went on in the NFL, and there is a lot to talk about. And we're going to be doing our segments today: the scapegoat of the week, the panic meter, and then we're also going to talk about the Indianapolis Colts and how their season is basically over. And I actually feel very bad for them because this was the year that I actually thought that they could potentially get it done. But yeah, hope you guys had an awesome week, and we do have a lot to talk about. Before we do that, I want to give a big shout out to Underdog and Sleeper. Use the code HMM when you sign up for Underdog and when you sign up for Sleeper. Get yourself a free 0.5 pick, plus you can get yourself a free deposit match as well. The 0.5 picks are like, oh, Marion Hampton needs to rush for 1 yard, or Jalen Hurts needs to throw for 1 yard. It's seriously just free money. So make sure you guys are signing up for Underdog and Sleeper using the code HMM. Also, again, check us out on all of our short form platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts. You guys know where to find us. We're pumping out content every single day. We're writing blogs over on hailmary.media. Check that out. Blogs from me, blogs from Irby Brooks about hockey, blogs from Jersey Bill if you're a Jets fan, a Mets fan, a Knicks fan, a Nets fan, whatever. I don't even know all the teams he's a fan of. But yeah, check it out, hailmary.media. Link will be in the description for that. And if you want to be a part of the show, make sure that you're checking out our Patreon if you want to just support us. If you want to be a part of the show, ask questions, give topic suggestions, whatever. Be a part of the show. Be a part of Hail Mary Media. Do that. Check out the Patreon. Link is in the description. So, like I said, we are going to be breaking down some panic meter things. We're going to be doing our scapegoat of the week. And I guess we'll start it off with our first panic meter segment, which is the Kansas City Chiefs. So, the Houston Texans yesterday did not just beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They basically walked into Arrowhead in primetime and ripped that dynasty label right off their chest. The Kansas City Chiefs now fall to 6-7. They lost by double digits at home, and people are expecting me to say, well, it's just a slump and they'll be perfectly fine. I don't think this is just one bad night for the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think this is just one bad season for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the league is catching up to them. I think age is catching up to them. So a quick recap from the game. This was supposed to be a get-right game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, yes, they're playing up against a very good Houston Texans defense, and C.J. Stroud is back, and he's wheeling and dealing. But this is a game that you generally expect the Kansas City Chiefs to win, especially at home. They got done beating up on the Colts. You feel like, hey, they could probably win this game. Now, yes, they did lose to the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, but that's just a different story. This is supposed to be a get-right game for Kansas City, and they ended up losing by double digits. Patrick Mahomes throws 3 interceptions. Some of them were just bad decisions. Yes, one of them, there was Travis Kelce just handing the ball to a defender. But this loss now snaps the Kansas City Chiefs AFC title win streak. They are now officially out of it. They cannot win the AFC West because of this loss. The crowd is stunned, but for a lot of fans, myself included, of the NFL, this was honestly a long time coming. Kansas City Chiefs, for the longest time, they were in obscurity. They were one of those teams that you didn't really fear. You didn't really have any qualms with. They were kind of just there. They had good players, Jamal Charles, and their fan base was one of those ones that was just like, hey, they're happy to be here every Sunday. Then they get Patrick Mahomes, then they get Andy Reid, and the fan base starts getting a little bit more chippy. They're like, hey, we're making moves. And you respected it. You're like, hey, yes, you finally got players. You finally have pieces. You can make a run. They win their first Super Bowl, and then they win another Super Bowl, and then they go to more Super Bowls, and then they win another Super Bowl. And then the fan base becomes insufferable. These people become annoying. Worse, honestly, I may think that they are worse than what the Patriots dynasty was. The Patriots dynasty, they were annoying because they knew they were good. Chief fans are just annoying because they're annoying. Because, we have Patrick Mahomes, and look, Travis Kelce. Aha, Taylor Swift. We got Taylor Swift over here. Just loud, obnoxious, annoying at first, for good reason. Listen, you had a great team. You were winning Super Bowls, making it to the AFC Championship game. You have all the room in the world to talk. But now the NFL has decided it is time for you, Kansas City Chief fans, to fall back into obscurity where you belong. Because the NFL giveth, but the NFL also taketh away. The NFL gave you all these calls. They gave you all the benefit of the doubt with the refs. They let you run the world. You bring in Taylor Swift and you think, oh my God, we have Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift now. The NFL is going to do everything in their power to make sure that we stay on top of the world. And we are learning right now that even with one of the best quarterbacks in the league, one of the best tight ends of all time, he's not the best right now in the league, he's playing like trash, the biggest pop star in the world, one of the best coaches in the NFL. The NFL is more powerful than all of that combined. And when they decide you're done, you are done. They're ripping out the rug from under you, Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City Chief fans. And they're pushing you back into the closet of obscurity where you belong. For too long, you have been too vocal. You have been too loud. You have been way too annoying. And the league is sick of it. The league is over it right now. They used up all of their Taylor Swift airtime. They don't need her anymore. They're pushing her away. They don't need Patrick Mahomes to be the face of the league anymore. They have other options. They have Drake May now. They have Bryce Young, who's actually playing very well. They have Shedeur Sanders, who is playing better than Patrick Mahomes. They're taking Patrick Mahomes and pushing him into the closet of obscurity. Travis Kelce, his brother, retires. And guess what? The Kelce brothers, were better as a duo. The New Heights podcast. Well, guess what? Jason Kelce isn't in the league anymore. Travis Kelce is getting pushed into the closet of obscurity because they don't need him anymore. This roster looks old. It looks slow, especially on the outside. This defense is not scaring anybody. You are getting beat vertically. You are getting beat on the ground. And this is just what it looks like when the league catches up with you and when the league decides we're done with you. We don't need you to be a superpower anymore. We're pulling the rug out from under you. The Chiefs went from being a complex problem that every single week defensive coordinators were ripping out their hair. How do we stop Patrick Mahomes? How do we stop Travis Kelce? How do we stop Rashee Rice? And when you guys had Tyreek Hill, well, then the league figured it out. Whenever you guys had Tyreek Hill, the league started playing too high safety. And you made a good call. You got rid of Tyreek Hill because you're like, hey, we can't take deep shots anymore. It works out. Well, then you started playing the short game, a lot more underneath to Travis Kelce, a lot more underneath to Rashee Rice instead of Travis Kelce just running up the seam and going vertical. The league has now figured you out. And the defensive coordinators have figured you out, but you were still getting the benefit of the doubt from the NFL in terms of calls, in terms of bailouts, and now that's not happening anymore. And that's why you're now 6-7. Because the league has decided that Patrick Mahomes, we're not going to let him play hero ball anymore. We're not going to give him these incredible 13-second one-timeout drives versus the Bills anymore because we don't need him anymore. You're not scaring anybody. Your time in the spotlight is over. The NFL has said it. The NFL has dictated it. So when it comes to a panic meter for the Kansas City Chiefs, where should you be right now? Should you be not panicking at all? Do you think this is just a slump year? Should you be in full-on level 11 panic mode? Everything is bad. Trade it all. Trade Patrick Mahomes to the New York Jets. Honestly, I think I will give you guys right now a 7 out of 10 on the panic meter. While the NFL has said to you guys, it's over. It's done. We're not giving you all the calls that you used to get anymore. We want to shut up your annoying fan base because you guys have been yapping for way too long. You thought you were on top of the world. That's not the case anymore. The league is pushing you into the closet of obscurity, where you belong. So right now, it is a panic meter level 7. While this year is a horrible year, things could get better. Maybe you make a move for a guy that the NFL likes. Maybe Patrick Mahomes can start figuring it out a little bit. I do think that when you guys get rid of Travis Kelce or when he retires, your team will actually get better. I truly believe that. These people who are trying to tell me that Travis Kelce is better than Gronk, I think those people never watched a down of football in their life. So I think that when you guys get rid of Travis Kelce or when he retires, you will be better. But as of right now, the panic meter for the Kansas City Chiefs, 7 out of 10. You guys are cooked for this year. You're not making it to the AFC Championship game. You're not making it to the Super Bowl. You may not even make it to the playoffs. So the real panic for you Chief fans is that you built your identity on being light years ahead of everybody. And you also built your identity on getting all the calls from the NFL. Well, now the league is caught up to you. Now the NFL is caught up to you, and they said, we don't need you anymore. So now defensive coordinators know how to stop you. Offensive coordinators know how to scheme against your defense. And the NFL pulls out the rug from under you and says, you're done. We don't need you anymore. So if you are a Kansas City Chief fan, where is your panic meter after this Texans loss for the rest of the season and for the rest of probably Patrick Mahomes' career? Are you in full on, it's fine, this is just one bad year, or are you in threat level midnight that, oh my God, we may need to trade Patrick Mahomes? So listen, I understand I just went in on the Kansas City Chiefs and their fans for a long time, but I am genuinely asking you Chief fans a question. If you sensed in my voice, if you actually knew that I was being very sarcastic there, I don't think you guys are that annoying. You guys are not worse than the Patriots, but it riled you up a little bit, didn't it? But I am genuinely asking, are you guys in full panic mode? Where are you on a panic meter right now? Is it a 0? Do you think everything will be fine? Not this year. This year's kind of cooked for you guys. But in the future, do you think the Kansas City Chiefs will be fine? Let me know what you think about that. The second panic meter that I want to talk about is about Ohio State. So Ohio State lost in the Big Ten championship game to Indiana 13-10. And I don't want to hear that, oh my God, this is it for Ohio State. Indiana has the blueprint on how to beat Ohio State. At some point, you just have to realize this was a nothing game for Ohio State. It really wasn't. They played a C-plus game. They sleptwalked through this game. And you have to realize this was Indiana's Super Bowl. This really was. Indiana is playing for Big Ten championships, while Ohio State is looking to compete for national championships. So a recap of the game, Ohio State, Indiana. Obviously, it's 1 versus 2. It was a very hard-fought game. Julian Sayin got beat up. Fernando Mendoza got beat up. It was a defensive affair, and it basically came down to Ryan Day and Brian Hartline not having the best play calling when they got into the red zone. 3rd and 1, they're trying to throw the ball instead of just running it up the middle with Bo Jackson, who is a power back. They get on 4th down, and they run a QB sneak where there's 2 yards, and obviously, it's hard to get 2 yards on a QB sneak because your quarterback's knee is going to hit the ground. You get into the red zone, and you end up trying to kick a 27-yard field goal instead of just going for it. You end up missing that field goal. It made a lot of baffling decisions by Ohio State. And where I think this is actually good for Ohio State, where I think it's fine, not good, because losing a game is not good. And I'm not discrediting Indiana whatsoever. They played hard. But I think that Ohio State went into this game with the most basic, boring game plan possible. People think that Ohio State was emptying out the playbook to try to beat Indiana in this game. Like, oh, they're down, so now they're going to do everything in their power. I truly believe in my heart of hearts Ohio State did not care about this game. Did they want to win the game? Yes. But were they going to empty the playbook and do everything in their power to win the Big Ten championship game? I don't think so. I think Ohio State proved to themselves that they can win one way. And last year we saw it in the game versus Michigan, where Ohio State all year, high flying, throwing the ball. They go up against Michigan and they want to prove we're tough. We can run it. We are a tough team. We can just win it with a basic offense, and we're just going to out-bully you. I think this was the same thing Ohio State tried doing to Indiana, where they're just like, hey, we're just going to play basic football. We're not going to run these crazy schemes. We're not going to run these crazy routes. We're just going to do basic things. We're just going to do basic slant routes and streak routes and corner, like just basic things. We're not going to do these crazy sluggo routes or these whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they lost because they went up against an Indiana team that this was genuinely their Super Bowl. And people were saying, oh, this is the blueprint now to beat Ohio State. And sure it is. That's the blueprint to beat Ohio State when Ohio State doesn't care. The issue now is now we're into the nitty gritty. We are now in the playoff bracket. In Ohio State, this is when they're going to start emptying out the playbook. They are going to come out in formations we haven't seen all year. They're going to run plays we haven't seen all year. If they need a fourth down, they're going to do whatever they have to do to get it. They're not going to run a basic quarterback sneak. No, they're going to bring in Lincoln Kienholz, and they're just going to run it right up the gut at you, or they're going to do some sort of RPO, or they're going to do a read option. They are going to empty out the playbook to win the national championship. And people are saying you should be panicking as an Ohio State fan. I'm not panicking in the slightest. Did I want to win the Big Ten championship game? Sure, it would be nice. I would much rather win the national championship than I would a Big Ten championship. Ooh, guess what? I would rather have a hat that says national champions than I would that says Big Ten champions, to be honest. So this was the Super Bowl for the Indiana Hoosiers. And again, they're not a bad team. I'm not discrediting what they did. They played a very good game. They were physical. But this was not the game that Ohio State cared about. This is not what they care about. When they go up against Texas A&M or Miami in the first game that they have to play because they have a bye week, it is going to be a rout, a domination, a blowout because they are going to pull out all the stops. Now, they may not even have to pull out all the stops to beat Texas A&M or Miami. But by the time we get to the national championship game, and if they're probably playing Indiana, Indiana's going to be like, oh my God, we already beat Ohio State. This is the blueprint. We're just going to out-physical them. And then you're going to see things that you've never seen on tape before. Your head is going to be spinning. You're going to be like, what do we do versus this team? So on a panic meter level, I know that was a lot to get to the setup. On a panic meter level for Ohio State, I'm at a 3. Not even. I'm at a 2. I'm at a 2 because yes, Ohio State got out physicaled. I'm not gonna deny that whatsoever. But I feel that there is zero room to panic because I think that Ohio State went in with the most basic, boring game plan possible. And the problem is for the rest of the playoff bracket, you kind of awoken something and put a chip on Ohio State's shoulder. It's like whenever they lost to Michigan last year and everyone goes, ha, well, this team's going to go to the playoffs and they're going to get bullied. And then what did they do? Bullied Tennessee. Bullied Texas. Murked Oregon. And then they had one drive versus Notre Dame where Notre Dame, which was the opening drive, Notre Dame out-physicaled them. And then what did Ohio State do? They go, okay, that's just not our game. We're going to beat you some other way. This is exactly what they're going to do to Indiana. If they meet Indiana somewhere throughout the playoffs, possibly the national championship game, they're going to just be like, hey, you beat us physically. Now we're just going to play our game. There is, I'm going to say a 2 to panic. 2 out of 10 to panic. Because yes, anything can happen. Indiana could throw some stuff at us that we haven't seen on the defensive side of the ball. But I am way more confident that Ohio State and their game plan, their system, their players are going to dominate in a way that Ohio State likes to play versus Indiana the next time. So if you're an Ohio State fan, after that Big Ten championship game, are you actually panicking? Are you actually worried now that they're not going to win the national championship because they lost a 13-10 game versus Indiana where they missed a 27-yard field goal? Are you actually panicking? Do you think that there is an actual blueprint now to beating Ohio State, or do you think that we haven't even seen the beginning of what Ohio State can do on the offensive side of the ball and just absolutely dominate through the air, just crazy plays? Let me know your panic meter for Ohio State, because right now I'm at a 2. That's it. Moving on to our scapegoat of the week. So Joe Burrow absolutely cost the Buffalo Bills. Moving on to our scapegoat of the week. So Joe Burrow absolutely cost the Bengals the game in Buffalo, but pretending that he is the reason that the Bengals are 4-9 right now is a lazy take. For one, he wasn't even healthy all year, so it's not his fault. But both things can be true. Yes, I do think that pick six that he gave up yesterday was ugly. Am I going to blame the game fully, though, on Joe Burrow, and that's the reason why they lost to Buffalo? Absolutely not. If your entire season is swinging on 2 throws, you have way more problems than just Joe Burrow throwing interceptions. And again, he wasn't even healthy the entire year. Everybody right now I'm seeing on social media, Joe Burrow choked. This isn't what elite quarterbacks do. You don't throw picks like that with the game on the line. You got to ice it away versus Buffalo. I get that you're playing in Buffalo. It's a tough environment, but you pay him too much money for him to throw moments away like this. A lot of people woke up on Monday and were like, oh, Joe Burrow, he got his bag, and now he's gone soft on us. He keeps getting hurt. He's making all these bad plays, and he's not going to be able to be a franchise quarterback for much longer. This man is the only reason why your franchise is relevant. Fully, that's it. Without Joe Burrow, you don't have Jamar Chase. You probably go out and get an offensive lineman, which would probably be better for what you guys need right now. But anyway, so yesterday, the Buffalo Bills, they were down to the Bengals 39-34, and Joe Burrow, brutal interceptions. One was a pick six. Buffalo ends up taking the lead. They go down, they score again. Now, the Bengals did end up covering. I'm not going to say that this was a game that the Bengals should have lost. I mean, where they were at in the game, they definitely should have held on to win. But people are scapegoating Joe Burrow right now, being like, it's all his fault. This season, if we don't make the playoffs, it's all his fault because of these 1 or 2 throws that he made in that game. You guys need to understand the uncomfortable truth right now is that Joe Burrow has been bailing your crappy organization, team composition, ownership. He has been bailing them out for so long. And now you just assume that he's Superman, that once he finally does something wrong, you have no idea where to place the blame. You really don't. You're used to the highs of Joe Burrow and him fixing all of your problems. And then when he makes a mistake, the only thing that you can do is make him a scapegoat. Again, well, am I sitting here saying that those were not his fault at all? No, that pick six was brutal. I will say that. But is that the only reason you guys lost that game to the Buffalo Bills? I feel giving up 40 points is the reason you lost to the Buffalo Bills. I feel that your defense is one of the reasons you lost to the Buffalo Bills. And unfortunately for you, Joe Burrow can't bail you out on the defensive side of the ball. So on a scapegoat meter right now for Joe Burrow, I'm going to put him at a 7 because I think that it is full on scapegoat right now. And remember, you don't a lower number for this segment means that it's basically your fault. So I'm putting him at a 7 right now, where the fan base is placing every ounce of blame on him. They're like, oh my God, it's all Joe Burrow's fault. We probably would have won this game if Joe Flacco was in. This guy has spent way too long bailing out your franchise, and now because he throws a pick six and another bad interception, sure, it's not all his fault that you guys are where you're at on the season. He was hurt, and now that he's back, he went up against a good Buffalo team. You probably should be putting all the blame on your defense. So Joe Burrow right now, I am giving a scapegoat meter of a 7 because yes, pick six was bad, kind of his fault. But for the whole season, for that whole game versus the Bills, absolutely not. So if you are a Bengal fan, what is your scapegoat meter on Joe Burrow? Is it a 0 where it's like, yeah, it's all his fault? Like, he's not even a scapegoat right now. He is just the problem with the Cincinnati Bengals. Or are you saying it's a 10 where it's like, no, Joe Burrow has been bailing us out. Joe Burrow has done everything in his power to get this team where it is right now, because without Joe Burrow, we are probably, defeated on the season. So if you are a Cincinnati Bengal fan, where are you on a scapegoat meter for Joe Burrow? Because right now I'm sitting at about a 7. Our final scapegoat meter is going to be about the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steeler game. Now listen, I am a Steeler fan. This is going to come off very biased, but Baltimore Raven fans, oh my goodness, they are going in on the refs. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a terrible, terrible team. They are not good whatsoever. I didn't realize how bad the Ravens actually were. If you lose to the Steelers, my goodness, just cancel the rest of the season. But the Ravens are saying that they didn't lose because of the play on the field. They lost because of the refs. Listen, the refs did not steal the game from the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore handed that game over to the Pittsburgh Steelers, blaming the stripes more than blaming the execution on the field. Yeah, no, that is just not true. You gave Rodgers too many extra chances. You let Rodgers, who hasn't made plays all year, except for like week 1 and the game against the Bengals, actually make plays against you. So don't be mad that he buried you on your home field. So fans are mostly furious right now, though, about the Isaiah Likely touchdown replay, where you can make the argument that Isaiah Likely possibly maybe scored a touchdown. Caught the ball, he took 2 steps. Every touchdown is reviewed. And they said for this, Isaiah Likely, yes, he caught the ball. Yes, he took 2 steps, but he did not make a football move. He still had the ball kind of up here. So I get it. If that happened to my team, I would be very upset. But to say that that is the only reason why you guys lost that game is absurd to me. You can say that it was part of the reason why you guys lost that game to the Steelers, but to say that is the definitive only reason the refs made the wrong call, that is asinine. Because it was not just the refs. It's the fact that you guys are a soft team. You guys let the Steelers bully you. And while the Steelers had a tough time getting to Lamar, the Steelers had a tough time getting Lamar on the ground. They didn't have a tough time actually getting to him. Lamar had to bail out of the pocket a lot. And I understand that's his game, but the Steelers' pass rush was just getting there. Lamar was just an elite escape artist right now. But you guys were stalling on drives, settling for field goals, missing field goals. You were actually letting Aaron Rodgers put together long, methodical drives. To blame the refs fully, to say that that is the reason you lost the game, you didn't actually watch the game, or you just had your rose-colored goggles on thinking that Lamar Jackson can do no wrong. The ugly truth about the Baltimore Ravens right now is that they didn't play good enough to win the game. And they had to put it in the hands of the referees. When you have the referees make a decision for you, whether you're going to win or lose, it's your fault. It's your fault. We all know, every fan of an NFL team knows how dumb referees are, that they are incompetent at their jobs. We all know this. They make good calls for your team. They make terrible calls for your team. We know how it goes. So when you, as a team, let the refs determine whether you win or lose, that's on you. 1,000% on you. So yes, will I say that officiating may have impacted you guys losing? Were they the full reason you guys lost? Absolutely not. Would I be upset if that exact same call happened to my favorite team? I would be livid. I am not blaming you guys whatsoever for being mad. You guys can be mad. I get that. But to say that it is the only reason you lost, and you're out here saying the refs are the reason that you lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, you haven't been watching the totality of the Ravens season, and that you guys just aren't very good. You guys just aren't a good team. The Steelers are not a good team. The Ravens are not a good team. The AFC North as a whole is ass. I think we can all agree on that. As Raven fans and Steeler fans, the whole AFC North is ass. It really is. So, a scapegoat meter right now for the refs, because that's who the scapegoat is right now. You guys are saying it's all the refs' fault. It's not the refs' fault. And I am putting the scapegoat meter for the refs. I'm going to say it's a 9. It's a 9 out of 10. Because, yes, they missed the call. Would I be upset if that was called a touchdown as a Steeler fan? No. I would be upset that the Steelers gave up that touchdown. But if the refs would have kept it a touchdown on the field, I can't be mad at that because that's just what it is. But am I going to sit here and say that they are the only reason the Ravens lost that game? Absolutely not. The Ravens lost the game because they're not a good team. They lost to an even worse team. Well, I shouldn't say an even worse team. The Ravens are a bad team that lost to a bad team, and they lost because they put the decision in the refs' hands when they should have just won the game outright themselves. Do not put games in the referee's hands. We know this. This is day one stuff in the NFL. This is rule number 1. Do not put the game in the refs' hands. Ball security is job security, and don't piss in the sink. Literally, those are like the 3 rules of the NFL. So it's a 9 out of 10 for a scapegoat meter for the Baltimore Ravens. Can you be upset? Yes. I have no problem with you guys being upset about the call. But to say it's the only reason is lame. So if you are a Raven fan, what is your scapegoat meter on the refs? Is it a 0? Is it fully their fault? Is the referee's call the only reason you guys believe you guys lost that game to the Pittsburgh Steelers? And if you say a 0, I'm going to assume you didn't actually watch the game, or you watched with rose-colored goggles on. Or is it a 10 where it's like, yeah, I kind of get it. Like, that's on us. It's not the ref's fault. It's on us. Where are you reasonably? Because I know that a lot of Raven fans are going to be like, nope, it's all the ref's fault. Reasonably. Think of it as 2 other teams, not division rivals. Think of it as a game between Jacksonville and Carolina if that happened. Where are you on a scapegoat meter for the referees in that Raven game if you are a Raven fan? All right, the final thing I want to talk about. I feel so bad for you Colt fans. This was supposed to be the year. You guys went all in getting Sauce Gardner, trading away first-round picks. I'm actually like depressed for you guys. This sucks. Now, is it a part of the game that Danny Dimes got hurt? Yes. But man, You guys were having a season of a lifetime. Now, you were starting to fade off a little bit, but I still, if you watch my weekly breakdowns, I still felt that you guys were easily a contender because I thought that the Indianapolis Colts were built to win in January. Good running game. Quarterback was playing smart. I felt that you guys would be able to figure it out physical teams, and make your way through the playoffs, potentially making it to the Super Bowl and or winning the Super Bowl. This right now, a Danny Dimes injury may slam the door shut on that for you guys, because we saw that after losing him, the Jaguars, they pounced. They took advantage of it. And a team that is even better than the Jags, it's going to be rough sledding for you guys. Now we're going to start seeing teams because, listen, Danny Dimes is not the best quarterback in the league, but he was efficient. He was playing moderately well. I mean, again, he was falling off a little bit the past few weeks, but he was still playing like better than what we've seen from Danny Dimes. And it just sucks now because now teams know that the only way that you guys are probably going to win is just by loading the box, by running the ball. So they're just going to load the box, stop Jonathan Taylor, and force Riley Leonard or whoever you have playing quarterback throw the ball and beat you. And we've seen in years past that if it's like Anthony Richardson, it's over. It's truly over because he can't make the basic throws. And they're going to load the box to stop his legs because that's where he's the scariest. They're going to load the box to stop Jonathan Taylor. And they're just going to say to Anthony Richardson, have at it. Beat us through the air because we don't think you can. We're just going to play man because we know you can't throw the ball accurately. We're just going to play just a base defense with 9 in the box because you guys can't beat us. Like, I feel so bad for you guys. This sucks so much. So yeah, that's just the additional thing I wanted to talk about. If you are an Indianapolis Colt fan, how are you feeling right now? Like, truly, do you still feel that, hey, we'll figure it out? We can still make a run because we have Jonathan Taylor in a good offensive line? Or are you just full on like, well, we had fun while we had fun. Now it's over. If you're an Indianapolis Colt fan, let me know how you are feeling because it sucks. It truly does. This was the year for you guys to get it done. Then you trade for Sauce. You have a great team, and you kind of you went all in. You put all your chips in, and this sucks. It really sucks. And if you're a Jet fan, you're like, oh shit, yeah, wait, the pick just got better. But yeah, this definitely sucks, fan. So if you are a Colt fan, again, let me know, how are you feeling now on this season? Are you like, well, it's over? Or are you, still moderately optimist that, you're like, we can figure it out. We kind of just threw Riley Leonard into the fire and we just got dominated. Like, that's going to happen. But if we let him game plan a little bit, if we maybe have Anthony Richardson, put him in like packages that is good for his skill set, maybe we can figure it out. It's a lot of work, but do you think that you can figure it out? So let me know about that. I just feel so bad for you Indianapolis Colt fans. Well, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this latest edition of the Hail Mary. And yeah, make sure again to follow us on all of our short form platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts. If you've made it this far and you love hearing me ramble on about sports, make sure you're checking out that Patreon then. Because if you want to be part of the show, if you want to hear me talk about specific segments, if you want to ask me questions on the podcast, check out our Patreon. Support the channel, support the show, support the brand of Hail Mary Media. I appreciate you guys so much. Hit that like and subscribe button and that bell notification so you never miss another video. I will see you guys on either Wednesday or Thursday whenever we do our breakdown of after week 14 of the NFL season. We're going to do our power ranking. So guys, thank you so much. Have a beautiful week. I will see you all either Wednesday or Thursday, and then Friday again for another episode of the Hail Mary. Peace out, guys. Have a beautiful week.